sun, the fields are alive. Cheering crowds and the teams collide. In these moments, we stand tall and free. First pride runs deep in me. With every touchdown, we rise and we cheer. Unity and spirit, the heart of the year. Raise your voices, let's make it loud. In Florida's high schools, we're so damn proud. From the bleachers to the end zone to go, football and cheers make our spirits grow. Girls in the game, they're fierce and bright. Flag in hand, they give it their might. From every town they bring their dreams. On this field of gold, nothing's as it seems. Together we shine, together we play. In Florida's heart, we own this day. Raise your voices, let's make it loud. In Florida's high schools, we're so damn proud. From the bleachers to the end zones go, football and cheers make our spirits grow. So here's to the game, we'll rise and stand. In Florida's field, real night band.
All right, welcome here to the Northeast Florida edition of the Blitz here. Sorry, just trying to get it up on Facebook for some reason. I'm trying to get the Facebook stuff going back again. Hopefully, maybe that might bring a few more people that are left out there to get them over to the YouTube side before we just finally kind of phase it all out together. But Facebook is just saying, hey, screw you. forget it. Anyways, welcome to the Northeast Florida edition of the Blitz here. Appreciate everybody joining us here, especially those who are watching us on the YouTube or X. We definitely appreciate all of y'all joining us here. And I should have the talking points up to situated. And that's my point, my bad here, because, I'm just special. It's been one of those nights. Guys, Polk. What is it about Polk County tonight? We're in Northeast Florida. Polk County was last night. So yesterday.
Of course, the usual UFO talk every week too.
Yeah, well, at least we haven't had food yet. I've got a few Oreos left. So, appreciate everybody joining us here on the Northeast Florida edition of the Blitz. We don't have a guest here for the night, but we'll just kind of go through some of the stuff that we've got here for you tonight in terms of the shows and everything that we've got rolling here, and a lot to really digest, as we also had the playoff roadmaps come out a little while ago, and Chris again did a great job on those. So round of applause there for him again. And this is nothing new to Chris when it comes down to breaking down playoff stuff. This is kind of like our this is where I'm going to say it this way. This is where we kind of get nerdy at.
Yeah, I've done that for years in Texas, and it's a lot of fun.
So he's doing it here for us here in Florida. Definitely appreciate what Chris does here with breaking it down. And Mark, it's always. Oh my goodness. Y'all are just a trip here, but let's go ahead and roll into our Blitz Lines as we talk about it here with everything that happened last week in Northeast Florida with our picks. And boy. First, I got to really talk about this because this was huge because really, when I was looking at this, dealing for the Jaguars Player of the Week, in terms of the nominations, we had some really incredible performances in Northeast Florida. How about this? Eddie Jordan for Beachside set a school passing record of 535 yards and 5 touchdowns in that 35-31 victory over Bishop Kenny. My, oh my.
That's impressive.
That's impressive. Okay, how about this? A game that we didn't have on the picks, but probably we should have, was St. Joseph at Hilliard. 49-48. The Green Flashes, which are just the Flashes, but I call them the Green Flashes here in this instance because the Hilliard are the Red Flashes. I got to say this. DJ Alderman, how about this? Set a school record of 477 yards rushing on 24 carries and scored 7 touchdowns. He was like 50-some yards away from the state record for rushing in a game. By the way, that was a record that was once held by Derrick Henry. It's held by the player's name is slipping my mind. It's held by one of the ones over at Baker that has had some great numbers over there the years. I mean, and for a single game. Okay, this is one of the records that Derrick Henry had held for a while for the single game record. But 477 and 7 touchdowns. How about that one?
That brings back memories for me in Texas watching Cedric Benson and Jonathan Gray and God bless his soul. Cedric Benson, he passed away a few years ago. One of the great in Texas and one of the great in the NFL. He played for the Cleveland Browns.
No, absolutely here, and it's really fun talking about this here because I remember us years ago. You had Jonathan Gray. You were tracking with a national rushing record. We were talking Derrick Henry and a guy named Kelvin Taylor for national record watch here, and eventually Derrick Henry got that one here. So it was really fun watching and trying to track that down.
Yeah, and you and I were both tracking both of them down, and it was a lot of fun, to go through that, compare the stats between the two teams, between the two players. A year after Jonathan Gray broke the record, then Calvin Taylor comes along and does the same thing. It was phenomenal.
No, it was really phenomenal here, and that really was something there. It was just one of those games where it's just it really he just really just did a lot there, and I'm trying to find something here for y'all because I'm going to a blast of the past here if I can get this to do it right here in a moment. But West Nassau, let's go to another game here. University Christian and Impact Christian. University Christian just totally rolls over Impact Christian. They're one step closer to a district title and won I think it's 1A3. Yes, District 1A3. That was a huge win right there. Of course, I think University Christian will easily win that district here. Kelvin Tiller was Glade's day, by the way. Hey, is that Hunter Williams sitting there dropping into the chat there? Sure enough, it is. How you doing, my man, Hunter? Yes, Derrick Henry. It was Kelvin Taylor at Glade's day, Derrick Henry at Yulee. It's crazy to think about this here. By the way, here we go. I think I can pull this up, Chris, here. Let me see if I can share the screen here. Let's see here if I can pull it up correctly to the old one. Here we go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to share this. Here is our blast. If I can bring it up here. Here is our blast from the past. Chris, you remember this old website? By the way, I'm going to zoom in right into it here for y'all. This was where we were for us. We were tracking this. This was in 2012, and in the web archive right here, you had Glade's Day Yulee, and look at what Derrick Henry. All he needed was that. This was of October 22nd, 2012. He needed that 774 to get there. And by the way, he got that in the first round of the playoffs. Yeah, Wayback Machine. Yep, it's the Internet Archive. This is where you can go find some real goodies with the blast of the past. So, yeah.
Some days.
No, absolutely here. And let's go ahead and bring that back up here to the screen here. Yes, indeed. Yes, it was definitely something. Yes, Wayback Machine, Emery. Yes, it was Glades Day. Yeah, maybe it was Fred. Yes, it was Fred Taylor who played at Glades Central. That's where Daddy played at. It was Glades Central.
Yeah. That.
And Mark Cannon says, "I know the guy who arranged the Yulee Glades Day game. I do remember that. That was a huge thing there too. That ESPN game there between for Derrick Henry and Kelvin Taylor there in 2012. That was a huge deal for Yulee, and it still is a huge deal for Yulee to this day.
Yeah, and considering Derrick Henry tearing it up in Tennessee right now, that's wherever he's at.
He's in Baltimore now.
Yeah. He was at Tennessee, now he's at Baltimore.
By the way, speaking of Yulee, how about this? 17-0 over previously undefeated West Nassau. How about that? Yulee 17-0 victors over the Warriors, their in-county rival there in West and Nassau County. And you in Reno got that pick right on the money here, and I was Yeah, I was wrong. But you know what? Reno, in this next game, ING Academy National and Mandarin Reno. Now, me and you got a 57-7. ING Academy National just rolls over the Mustangs and hand them their first loss of the season. You know what? I think... You know what? They played them closer last year. Hey, Hollywood Big B is in the house. I appreciate you chiming in here. See you on here as well. Yes, West Nassau is in the SSA Atlantic League North Division, Emery. So, and man, oh man. How about that? IMG Academy just roll all over Mandarin. And then how about this? St. Augustine and Nice in a nail biter, 28-24. The Yellow Jackets get by the Panthers, and St. Augustine now sporting a 5-0 record. And guess what? That 5-0 record is going to do. They're going to be hosting that with another team of a 5-0 record. That is Columbia. That will be on our pick 6 for Northeast Florida coming up here in a little bit here, Chris. And boy, it's just. Oh man, St. Augustine, Brian Braddock's crew. You know what? That game is going to be a dandy at Foots Brumley Friday night. I got to tell you that for St. Augustine and Columbia, this is going to be a battle. And our guy Hunter Williams over there, he's going to be checking out that game, and I'm going to be expecting a report from you, Hunter, on that one.
You know what? One game that I'm eyeballing from last week was Riverside and Rebo.
That was interesting.
That wouldn't Reball ahead like 20-0 in that game.
Yeah, they were up at one point, but I know that I gotta say this with the way Riverside had to fight there. That's good for them, but right now they're gonna need a lot more winning and a less lot and some help along the way if they're gonna make the playoffs this year.
Oh yeah. They can't have any more of those games like that. And
no, not at all. No, not at all. No. But how about this? Bowles and Oakleaf. Well, boy, I picked wrong again on that one. I picked wrong on Nice. We all took Nice, by the way, and we were wrong there. I was wrong on Oakleaf. I mean, not my week on the picks on Northeast Florida, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Bowles 38, Oakleaf 7 at 6.
Yeah. Well, Bowles really took it to Oakleaf, which really surprised me how big a margin that was.
No, it was. Mark Cannon did not take Nice, so I'll give a round of applause there for Mark Cannon there on that one. So there you go. Man, oh man, Bowles and Oakleaf. That I thought that was going to be a good one, but man, Bowles just totally dominated tonight. So Knights, you got a little work to do. Anyway, but looking at some of the playoff roadmaps, Chris, here that we have here from the area here. Let's talk about this here because I think this is pretty cool what you did here. You did some pretty good. I want to zero in on a particular district. No. Mark Cannon says, "Thank you from Trash, pal." I want to zero in on this particular district because I think this is probably one of the more competitive districts in terms of outside of obviously 4A3 is 5A3. I want to zero in on this one here because Chris, in your article, I think this is probably one of the only few districts that games of note. There was multiple games of note for each week that you had listed here. Obviously, week 6. Week 8, week 9, week 10. You really, when you zero in on 5A3, it really, it's a district that it's one of those districts that took 4 teams to the playoffs the last year, and they could very well do so the same again.
Mm-hmm. When I saw this district, I was like, "There's just no way that nobody can pull away in this district." I don't see it.
I mean, last year, Fleming Island just kind of showed up out of nowhere and took the district, and I was like, "Well, that wasn't expected." But and I know, Corey Davis from the Pocket Daily News, he was talking to me the other day, and he's like, "Josh, you like cupcakes? You like cupcakes?" Yeah, Middleburg schedule. They played a vanilla cupcake, they played a chocolate cupcake, a red velvet cupcake. But here's the thing. If we're gonna start comparing Middleburg from last year to this year, I want to bring up some key points here about Middleburg on this one, because usually I don't usually talk about the alma mater. I have really stayed away from talking about the alma mater over the years because Middleburg has just had its own issues, but we're now talking on the verge of Middleburg going 4 straight to the playoffs. This is uncharted territory for the Broncos. Obviously, 3 straight last year. It was one of those things for them last year that was really it was different for them. So I'm bringing it up over here. I've got the 24-25 season because most of the schedule outside of the first 5 games is the same compared to last year. So outside of the one game that replaced last year they had for the game they had Hollis Christian, which was that was replaced with Zarephath Academy. All right. So last year, Middleburg beat Westside only 13-0. This year, 58-14. Northwood Educational last year, 42-6, 44-14. All right, comparable numbers. Comparable in terms of how bad you beat them last year. Last year, they beat Clay 9-0. Obviously, it took a lot of effort. 28-27 this year. Okay, they beat Hollis Christian 39-0 last year. This year, it was Zarephath Academy in this game, 46-6. Ridgeview last year was only 27-0. This year, 51-16. If I got to say, really look at this, I'm sticking out my chest here because honestly, this one, I gotta, but they've been, what Ryan Wolf has been doing there in this, I really think, unlike last year, I didn't think Middleburg had a chance in competing in the district because of just the way things were looking. But when you look at the things comparable, looking at the schedule from last year and compare it to this year, what they've done, look at it. They have scored double the amount of points in almost every single game compared to last year. So I am bringing the receipts here on this one. I think the Middleburg has a legitimate shot against Ponte Vedra and Beachside and Fleming Island to compete for this district. It's a 4-horse race, basically.
Yeah, it is. It is. And in this district, I mentioned Beachside and Fleming Island already have a win in district play. So you take that for what it's worth, and you look at the rest of the district. That's not a safe bet right there.
No, it's not a safe bet. I think anything goes here in this district. Anything goes. I think Middleburg will go ahead and take Anno Orange Park, get the 6 wins. It'll be another year, a second straight year of at least getting to 6 wins for Middleburg. That's been not done in ages. By the way, I got to tell you, the last time when Middleburg won a district title, 1990. Head coach then, David Wilson, the same David Wilson of Lincoln Notoriety, who won multiple state championships with the Trojans. I still say to people, after looking at a lot of information, there was a guy named Alan Hall who was committed to Miami, never got to Miami. And honestly, there was a team named Choctaw that year in 90 in the 5A bracket that buzzsawed Middleburg right in the first round. But if Middleburg had not done that, I think they probably would have won at least a state title. This is my opinion.
Yeah, but like Josh said, if you don't have a subscription, get a subscription. These playoff roadmaps they got a lot of information, and this particular district, this will open your eyes.
No. Emery, I know Emery said something. He said there's a lot of buffering. I'm not seeing anything indicating that there's a buffering going on because I'm getting other people in the chat that's talking. So Josh knows I'm always straight when I talk about teams, but I'll give credit when credit's due. That district is probably wide open anyway. 1990 would have been before Middleburg ever had a game against Columbia. But I think another thing I want to talk about here. So I'm Chris is that we got reclassification coming up. We talked about it briefly last night. We'll go ahead and talk about it here on this one here. Middleburg's going to. Oh man, Middleburg is going to paint Orange Park red. Middleburg's already trying to paint Orange Park red, Southern Orange Park. But I got to say this, Chris, is the reclassification that's going to be coming up here, and I'm going to go back and look at the enrollment numbers because Hollywood Big B says maybe we'll see Middleburg versus Oakley for the next 2-year cycle, and my thought is this here is that once we start to see the enrollment numbers, I'm kind of curious to see where it's going to go, but I'm trying to see if I can get it through here. Of course, going through FHA's list, you got to go through about 100 pages just to get to where you want to see the numbers. Middleburg turned in 1849 last year in terms of the numbers here. So that just I think Middleburg's numbers, I want to say, is probably roughly around 2,000 now, probably in the student enrollment numbers, because Middleburg is it's on another growth streak again, because when you got 350 houses being built right across the street from the high school, that's only going to increase the enrollment numbers coming up here. But Oakleaf, in terms of numbers last year, they turned in 2299. There's a good chance with the reclassification, depending on how the lines are drawn. I gotta say this, I feel like Middleburg and Oakley could end up being in the same district.
No, that wouldn't surprise me. But it all depends on how they.
Yeah, it depends on how. Yeah, Middleburg. How many Publixes does Middleburg have? One technically in the zip code, but one right on the edge of the line of the zip code, right there at Oakley Plantation. So, two. You can kind of 1 and 1, but there's a. I can say this: there's a Waffle House.
Nothing wrong with the Waffle House at 2 a.m.
There's Waffle House. They have multiple Dunkin' Donuts now. They have Wawa. They've got everything. Even Chick-fil-A at this point now. So Chick-fil-A, Culver's. Gosh, Walmart.
Yeah.
Yeah, Emery. I'm sorry for your pain there. He's referring to Wauchula not having a Publix, by the way.
Yeah.
I gotta say, again, what Chris said, go on the FloatHSFL.com, hit that subscribe button, pay for that subscription, because honestly, looking at these playoff roadmaps, everybody, it is really, really, it's impressive, and I gotta say, there's a lot of good nuggets in there, and there's going to be more good nuggets as we go through the rest of the season here.
And full disclosure, I did say a couple of nights ago, 2 o'clock in the morning, working on some of this stuff. So
no, and I got some goodies coming with Inside the Numbers, by the way. That'll be coming out tomorrow, along with the updated Florida Power Rankings. So we'll have that for you as we roll along here. But Hunter said, I turned a football game into a 5-day beach trip. I've been here in St. Augustine, but I haven't been to St. Augustine. I've been to St. Augustine yesterday. Oh, wow. That's Hunter going on the vacation there.
That'd be a nice vacation.
Yeah, no, absolutely. All right, let's take a break here. Let's come back here, and we'll talk a little bit more of what some of our opinions on Northeast Florida football. And of course, if you got questions, you got comments, just drop them in the chat here, and we'll talk about it here. We'll be right back here on the Northeast Florida edition of the Blitz here on FloridaHSFootball.com. Appreciate everybody watching. We'll be back here in just a moment.
Box Out gives you the ability to create graphics at the speed of sports to highlight your athletic department, teams, and student athletes in seconds. Used and trusted by Notre Dame, Ohio State, UConn, Marquette, Georgetown, and many more of the top college brands in the country. If you want your school's brand to stand out through all the clutter, start your free demo at boxoutsports.com.
Touchdown!
Juggled and caught!
I've been thinking about this for a long time. I thought, if that's out there, I want to make sure I see it and I get involved in it, because to me, this was music to my ears. I was blown away. When you look at today's kid, the millennium kid, they learn by being able to see it. If I can see it, there's a great chance that I can do it. First Down Playbook is a tool that can essentially change the way we teach the game.
All right, welcome back here to the Northeast Florida edition of the Blitz here as we roll along here with our fan questions and comments as we get ready to go into our pick six for week number 6 here. And Chris, we're going to have coming up here in just a few minutes here our North Central Florida edition of the Blitz. Again, we'll have no guests, but we'll talk more about everything here as well, because there was a Columbia. Hunter, you want to watch the next show too, because we'll talk about Columbia, what they did against Trinity Christian from last week.
Yeah, a lot of interesting games coming up for North Central Florida, and especially for Northeast Florida as well. Some of those games, like I said, some of those games are listed in the playoff roadmap, so you want to take a look at which districts have these upcoming games and when they come. So.
No, absolutely here, and a lot there as we roll along here with everything with that in our show here. But man, it's almost about that time. You know what time it is? It's time for the pick six as we roll along here with everything for our show here. And up on the pick'ems for this week, and our pick six is this. First game up is Mandarin at First Coast, and First Coast looking pretty good this year under Jarvis Parker, first-year head coach. Took over from the legend Marty Lee, but it's a game that it's one of those games. If First Coast was to come up with like an upset here, it would make a lot of waves. But I got to say this, and I got to really say it here, is that for Mandarin, taking that loss on the chin to ING Academy, that might have them fired up even more so coming into this game. And the computer is predicting Mandarin 20 over First Coast, giving the Mustangs a 96% chance on that win probability.
Yeah, I think there's just too much firepower and too much talent for First Coast to compete in this game. So give me Mandarin.
I know with Reno, he would take Mandarin as well in terms of the picks here. And, you know, I gotta say this. I only have one answer here for this one. And this is going to be my answer for everybody here. If I can do this right. Mandarin for the win. Mandarin for the win. Give me the Mustangs and give me the points with this one. And everybody in the chat so far is rolling with Mandarin on the picks here. All right, up next is Christchurch Academy 4-1 at Episcopal 4-1, and Episcopal, a team that actually has a chance to make some noise in their district 1A2, but this is not a district game here in this situation here. But I think this is a game that goes a long ways, and the computer favoring Christchurch Academy by 13 over the Episcopal. Over Episcopal, and I can tell you this one thing here. I know for certain in this game that the Eagles are going to win. It's just which Eagles. Is it Christchurch or is it going to be Episcopal?
I'll take the bet that the Eagles are going to lose this game too.
Emery, he's betting the house.
Give me Christchurch by 7.
No, Christchurch by 7. Oh, wow. All right. Christchurch here. And I'm going, you know what? I got to say here with this one, I'm going Christchurch as well on this one. There's still some things I'm kind of worried about with Episcopal. So give me Christchurch here. And I know Reno will go with Christchurch as well based upon his philosophy of making his picks. And we'll go from there. All right. Our next game here is Tucoy Creek 3-1 at Barton Trail 1-4. And boy, why do I put this one on here? It's one of those trap games, I think, in my opinion here, because obviously Bartram's record's 1-4. Throw the record out here in the situation here, but Tucoy Creek is a 30-point favorite over Barton Trail. Barton Trail's had their struggles this year. Don't get me wrong, but if there's a game that Tucoy Creek can slip up here and kind of put them in the situation of kind of being more towards on the in the park in traffic instead of and they could put them into the parking lot, this would be the game that does it for them.
Yeah, like you said, it is a trap game for Tucoy Creek. But we talked to the coach a couple weeks ago about Tucoy Creek. I like what they're doing. So give me Tucoy Creek.
Now, Reno's going to go to Tucoy Creek here as well. I know that. He would tell me Tucoy Creek. Well, I mean, that's not too far from where his work headquarters are at. So, but I have one answer and one answer only for this one. Toros for the win. So give me Toros. Just don't give me the points. I'll take the under on that one with Tucoy Creek. But I think Tucoy Creek gets a big win here and works themselves into that district conversation a little bit with two powerhouse teams in Buchholz and Nice as we look at it here. But our next game up, this one is Oakley 4-1 at Fletcher 4-1, and boy, you know what? The computer on this one likes Oakley by 18. Yeah, the Knights a 94% chance on winning this game.
Oh, man. Fletcher, they're on a hot streak, too.
I mean, their only loss is to Nice, by the way. So, and they played Nice pretty tough.
Give me Oakleaf.
Wow. Oakleaf. Reno will go Oakleaf. I'm taking the Knights for the win. So hopefully this week my pick on Oakleaf will actually pay off because everybody else is picking Oakleaf. So we'll call it a deal on that one here. All right. Our fifth game is Fleming Island at Ponte Vedra. Again, this is one of these 5A3 games that we talked about here. And Fleming Island is a 1-point favorite over the Sharks here. Yes, the Golden Eagles a 1-point favorite over the Sharks, giving Fleming Island a 54% win probability. Ponte Vedra 46%.
Like I said in the article, Fleming Island is a big test for them. But I like Ponte Vedra in this scenario because they're playing at home. So give me Ponte Vedra.
Yeah, Ponte Vedra, Fleming Island, there's been a couple instances where I'm kind of concerned and with a couple things with them. And, I just the thing. So, you know what? I got one answer only for y'all in this one. Shark Tank for the win. Yes, that is the name of their stadium. I'll take Ponte Vedra in this one here, Chris. And last but not least, our final game on the Northeast Florida Picks at Foots Brumley, 7 o'clock kickoff on Friday night. It is the 5-0 Columbia Tigers versus the 5-0 St. Augustine Yellow Jackets. Brian Allen, who got his 100th win, by the way, this season already as a head coach, I think actually Friday night against Trinity Christian, against Brian Braddock, St. Augustine Yellow Jackets. So, man, this is going to be a dandy at the Foots. But what is the computer calling for, Chris? A tight ball game. Columbia, a 1-point favorite over St. Augustine, giving the Tigers a 52% chance of winning this game. St. Augustine, 48%. You couldn't ask for a better game to spotlight on our pick six here. Here you go.
Boy, St. Augustine at home, they're a very tough team to beat there. So give me St. Augustine by a touchdown. And it's going to be an overtime game.
I know Reno's going to roll St. Augustine because based upon the fact that it's under 10 and St. Augustine's the home team. So I know that that's just going to be his pick. But for me, there's been a couple question marks about St. Augustine. They let Riverside hang around all game a couple weeks ago. This is where I'm struggling. This is where I struggle with. Columbia's 3-0 against teams they lost to last season, and this is the best defense St. Augustine has faced. Give me Columbia. I got some news for you. I'm going with the Tigers. And hand St. Augustine their first loss by 1.
Okay.
By 1. Give me the points. Give me the spread. I'm going St. Augustine. I'm going Columbia here on this one. So I'm going. I've got to go Columbia. I have a lot of faith. This is, by the way, Jordan Kroger at the Lake City Report. I think he said, Hunter probably will confirm this. The thing is, St. Augustine, Columbia for Columbia. Sorry, Columbia. This is like their best start since going on that run to the state championship game in 1997 under a head coach named Danny Green. So it is a slobber knocker. Yeah, I think this will be a slobber knocker game.
Oh yeah.
So, all right, it is that time after it's time for us to wrap this thing up here, and appreciate everybody that's joined us here. Any final thoughts, Chris?
A lot of good games this week. So.
Get on
Northeast Florida.
Yeah, get on 46football.com. Subscribe, become a season ticket member. $59.99 a year, $7.99 a month. Hit that subscribe button. See what we got in that playoff roadmap. There's also some good nuggets coming on the inside the numbers too. So, and maybe I'll die. Chris, maybe I need to talk a little bit about that because the statewide edition of the Inside the Numbers will be interesting. Maybe we'll talk about that on the next show, North Central Florida Blitz. Stay tuned here. We'll be back here in just a couple minutes here for that. Appreciate everybody watching the Northeast Florida Blitz. We'll see you back here in just a few minutes.